Hello, welcome to the Kitchen Lab. Today we'll be looking at bending or refracting light using just things that you'll have in your kitchen at home. If you like the video and you want to see more, then do follow me on Twitter at thekitchenlab2, and as ever you can follow this experiment using the lab worksheet that will be in the tweet or the description of the video underneath here on YouTube. I'm set up now on the side in the kitchen, and you can see I've got everything here that I'm going to need for the experiment. So I've got some water, I have a teaspoon, I have some sugar, I have a glass, a clear glass, and I've got my phone here for my source of light, a pen, and a sheet of paper that we can do this experiment on as well. So following the sheet that you will be able to find in the tweet or on the description of the YouTube video, I'm going to start with step 1, which is called the control. When we do an experiment, we're doing something that we don't know what will happen. So to make sure we can notice the difference between things, we have to start with one thing, and we'll call that the control experiment. So we're going to start with that. And what I'm going to do first is take my glass and fill it with some water. Just about there. Don't fill it right to the top, because if you fill it right to the top, your lines of light might go too far across off your paper. So I'm just over halfway with mine there. I'm going to put that on my sheet of paper, and then I'm just going to draw around the edge of it. So if I do need to move this glass later at any point, I'll be able to put it back in exactly the same spot. You don't need to use a marker pen, I'm just using that so maybe you can see it better on the video. So the next step, very easy, because this is the control experiment, it's just the beginning. We need to put a source of light through the water and see where the light beams get bent to or refracted to. I'm just going to turn some of the light off so you can see better what's going on in the video. And if we put the source of light over the glass, what we need to do is just make sure that the circular beams of light that are coming out from it are lined up so that the glass is right in the center of those circles that come out. Okay, it's quite overexposed on the video, but you can see one very strong circular beam of light, one strong circle of light coming around there. So what I'm going to do is where the circles go from dark to light, that bright beam, I'm just going to make a mark on my paper, and I'm going to write control on there. If I turn the light off now, you'll be able to see, if I turn the light back on, that we ended up with where the glass was, and then there were different circles of light coming out, and where it went from dark to light, I put a line, and that's our control. So that's how far just the water in the glass is going to bend the light. So if you look in the explanation section on the sheet, the section that's titled What's Happening, that'll explain that as those beams of light are being created, they're going through the water, but they travel at a different speed through the water, so they get bent or refracted, as we would say. Because of that, instead of going straight down, they come out at an angle, and then we get these lines of light coming out. Just like if you were to walk through water, you'd find it harder to walk through water than you do normally through air. The same's happening to the light here. And if we change things in that water, we might then start changing where that light comes out. And that moves us on to step 2. We're going to bend the light some more. So I'm going to turn the main light off here again. And what we need to do that is change something about the water. So to do that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. And give that a stir. It might take just a minute or so to dissolve, but we want to make sure that it's all in there. Now once that's dissolved in the water, that's going to change how much the light bends as it goes through the water. It's going to slow it down even more and make the water even more refractive, so even more able to bend the light. That's dissolved now. And if we take the same light source and we make sure again that the glass of water is lined up in the middle of where these circles of light are coming out, and then draw another line where it goes from dark to light. If we do that, I'm going to write 2 for 2 spoons on that line. And what you'll see is that that line's got further away. So as we've added the sugar into the water, we've made it more refractive, more able to bend that light because it slows it down more and puts it off more at an angle. And therefore, it goes further away from the glass because instead of coming down at about that angle, let's say, it gets bent even more and comes down further away. And if we carry on doing that, we'll see that it happens again and again. And that's because we're increasing a property of the water called its refractive index. And that's just a measure, like any other sort of measure that you might have. So a centimetre or a metre will measure length, or the degrees it is in Celsius will measure the temperature outside. The refractive index measures how refractive something is. So how much that thing will bend light, slow light down and bend it as it goes through it. So I put another 2 teaspoons of sugar into the water. And again, if I line up those circles around, I'll find that it moves a little bit further away. So I get 4 teaspoons, and that light gets bent a little bit further again away from where the glass was. So you can do this not only with a straight glass, but you could do this with maybe a wine glass like this, a round curved glass, and you'll notice that again the lines will go in a different place, and here we get quite a nice shimmery effect. Or you could even do it with an old jar of spread like this one, which has had Nutella in it at some point. So any clear glass, some water and some sugar, and you'll be able to see the difference that putting sugar into water makes to how much it can bend light, how much it can refract light, and we can use that to our advantage in lenses. And you can also see that if you look up at a rainbow in the sky, the sunlight is getting refracted to a cloud and causing a pretty rainbow in the sky.